positive side, you got 1 million factory workers on the negative side. At the forefront of each one of those factories in your brain is a foreman. You got foreman positive and you got foreman negative. You are in charge. You're the boss of the factory. Guess what? We are how we think. You can't make a world, but you can make your own world. So now, since your brain is in 2 halves, let me show you how this works. You wake up in the morning and you say, man, I don't feel myself today. I got up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm not a morning person. Foreman negative hears that. He steps to the front. He said, what did you say? You say, I said I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I'm not myself. I'm not a morning person. He says, you got it right away. He said, hey, the boss just woke up and said he's not a morning person. He's having a bad day today, and he ain't feeling himself. Let's get to work. The 1 million factory workers start producing thoughts to justify what you just said. So now guess what? Man, I hate my alarm clock went off this morning. I got to get out here in this traffic. I want to drive down here today. I don't even like these people on my job. I can't stand this car I'm finna get in this morning. Sure wish I had a new car, but I'm driving this ragged ass car. And on and on and on. And your day starts tumbling into what you ordered at the top of the day. You could wake up in the morning and you say, you know what? Today is gonna be a great day today. I expect something really good to happen for me today. He said, what did you say? You say, I said I'm having a great day today. I expect something good to happen today. Foreman positive turns around and goes, all right, let me have your attention. Steve's having a great day today. He's expecting some wonderful things to happen. And man, let's get it going. And they start manufacturing thoughts. Same brain, man. I can't wait to go to work today. It may not be the job I want, but at least I got a job. I'm so grateful I got a car to drive to work today. Hey man, at least I got a check coming in. I appreciate the fact that I don't have a car, but at least I can walk to the train. Man, this is gonna be great today. That's how your mind works 24/7. It never turns off. Change your attitude, you change your altitude.
It all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become.
Always. Oh, yeah. Yeah, since like 86. Yes, you did. So me being a good friend though, I was like, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try to reset this? And I tried to give you positive reinforcement, which is hard for me and you to do for each other. But and I tried to give you some ideas and maybe help you out in the morning,
Absolutely. Poon Slayer, am I still muted? That's going to get us removed from YouTube. I'm calling out this guy who commented. His name is Poon Slayer. Fucking legend. Fucking legend. I love that name. Poon Slayer. So I was muted at the beginning of the show because I'm an idiot. And we all know this. I can't even hit my favorite button right now because we're on YouTube. That's probably a word that's not okay on YouTube. That's my guess. That's probably not okay, especially this early in the episode. Mm-hmm. I said at the top of the episode that the intro that we put on for Steve Harvey was so dead on accurate and so perfect because I did exactly what Steve Harvey said not to do in that video. He said, "We're good. Thank you, Poon Slayer. You're a legend. Love the name. Keep slaying that Poon.
I love it.
I fucking love it." But I did exactly what he said not to do in that video. And we're just starting on our Winning Wednesdays. It's only our second episode. And I said at the beginning of the episode, we started this show. It's our first time on YouTube, so we haven't been there in a while. But we started this show because our country is going through a lot of suck. Everybody is dealing with something financially. Everybody doesn't have a lot of this country is the middle class and poor. The majority is the wealthy. And they're struggling. People are living paycheck to paycheck and can't put food on their table. And not only is it the physical aspect of what's going on, but it's also the mental aspect. And I said it's directly up to us individually to handle that. No one's going to help you with your own mental game. No one's going to pick you up and tell you not to speak, have self-talk, negative self-talk, and say certain things and put things out into the world that reflect back on you. And it's all up to you in your head and into your mind and how you perceive things. And Steve Harvey said in the episode how like the boss came out and said he had a bad morning and he hates mornings. He feels like shit and he's terrible. And that just projected all this negativity onto his 100 workers and they all did garbage. And it makes 100% sense. And I did the exact same thing. Garrett, I came to you this morning right before the show. I said, man, I had such a shitty sleep. Like I slept like shit last night. I was tossing and turning. I could not fall asleep. I was so anxious. I don't know why. Probably because my dog's really weighing heavy on my mind right now. And I woke up. I just felt like, God, I was not looking forward to the show. I was sluggish. I was like, what I feel like. I feel terrible. I hate the morning, Garrett. I said, I hate the morning. And that's literally exactly what Steve Harvey said not to do. And I know people that wake up in the morning. Nick is one of them. Nick is really good at this because it's way easier said than done. It's way easier said than done. Like negative
discipline.
Yes, it's trained. It's just like any other muscle. Well, it's also like any other muscle in your head. It's like, or not in your head, in your body. To get any muscle strong, what do? You have to work it. You have to work out. You have to train that muscle to make it stronger. Like you don't go to the gym and just do one bench press and your entire body is worked out. You know what I'm saying? There's very few things that you could do that's a full body workout that's going to work out everything all at once. Mm-hmm. And your mind is the same thing as any other muscle. You have to train it. You have to spend time training your brain and the way you think. And I know people that even if they wake up in the morning, like I'm because I just started going back to the gym because of my injury. And this is something that I'm actively working on because I was getting good at it. And then I got my car accident and that was all taken away from me. And I went to a really dark place, a really, really dark place. And I had to dig myself out of there. And this is something that I have to train myself to do. And I started doing this actually last week. Mm-hmm. I have a notebook for my every gym session. I take notes and all my sets and everything that I'm doing just so I can because I lost a lot of strength. I lost a lot of muscle being sedentary for 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I want to keep track of my progress.
Yep.
And make sure that I'm moving forward. And plus I'm a space cadet and I can't remember what weight I had it the week before. I have to look back and be like, all right, what did I do last week? How much weight? All right, cool. Let's put it there. Let's start the first set and then go up a little bit, see what we do. And on the notepad, it has all the sets, and it has what you're working the day, the time, your warm up, if you stretched, all this nice little notes.
Mm-hmm.
On the bottom, it has notes, and next to that, it has on the top, I should say, it also says how much did you sleep. It has little batteries, so it tells you can channel how many hours you slept, and then it says how do you feel today. And there's a negative, a frowny face, like a straight face, an okay face, and then like a happy face.
Oh, like the oxy thing. Dope sick.
Purdue Pharma. What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, guys? And I look at it every day, and I put whatever I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honest. And
well, it's for you, so you should be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, then what are we doing here? You know,
wrong.
What?
Wrong. This is what I started doing, and this is how you train your brain. This is how you get your brain to think differently. Because I used to wake up and just always say, I'm tired, like I'm exhausted, I'm wiped out. Like,
wait till you have kids, bro.
Oh, well, no, but I would say it like
I know.
It's like that old saying, like you ever wake up in the morning, it's not an old saying, but do you ever wake up in the morning and stub your toe and like the rest of your day is shit, like everything, like all aspects from all angles is not have to do with your toe physically, but like just things just snowball and you keep getting more and more negative shit happening around you.
I had one of them last Friday.
And it happens to the best of. But then there's days where you wake up and you just feel like well rested. You feel your body feels amazing. Like you're like, wow, like I haven't felt this good in forever. And you get up and you're just like the sun is shining and the day is great. And like people
birds are chirping.
Yeah, it's a fucking amazing fucking day.
Yeah.
It's an amazing day. And it happens all the time. And it's the same thing. It's training your brain to no matter what, think that you're having a great day. So instead of being honest with myself and saying, you know, I don't feel that great today. I'm a little sore. I'm a little off. My stomach doesn't feel that good. I put smiley face. I'm having a great day. I'm training my brain to feel good every single day, no matter what's going on, no matter what stresses that I have in my life. My brain is being trained, and it's not easy. Like this is not something that like is going to happen overnight where I'm just going to automatically wake up and, you know, the world's collapsing around me. And I'm sitting here like, hey guys, what's going on? You know, that's not how it works. It's constant work. It's constant soul searching. It's self-development. It's you know, listening to motivational tapes. It's getting up and training your brain. Like for me, when we weren't doing before the show started, before our other show. So you may know us from other shows if you're tuning in on YouTube. You may know us from other shows that is not allowed on YouTube. Go check us out on Rumble. I don't even want to mention the name. You can see it.
Patriot Podcast Network on Roku as well.
Podcast Network. You could find us over there and look at the little ticker down below. Hopefully that they're not picking up on that, but who knows? So before that show started, I was in sales. And I did very well for myself. I was crushing it. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was a game to me. It was a chess match. It was like another way for me to be competitive because I was always super hyper competitive, being a wrestler my entire life, sports, fighting as an adult. I love competition. I love people pushing me. And sales I made that into a giant competition. It was me versus the homeowner that I was trying to sell roofs, window siding, doors. And I was not one of those sleazy salesmen that just was trying to sell just to sell. I was always honest and upfront, but it was a game. Like I was trying to get them to close. I was trying to close them and they were trying to get me out the door and leave. And I did really, really well. And my mindset was really good. I had a really good mindset because I had money in the bank. Like I was crushing. I bought my dream car, literally a car that I had on my wall growing up. And I was very happy where life was. And God works in amazing ways, really does, because this is truly my calling. It's to be speaking about things that are going on in the world. And I wouldn't trade it for any amount of money in the world. But when I got into the car accident, lived off of my savings for a very long time. And my savings dwindled very quickly, especially when I have this nice car that I'm paying for. I have rent. I have everything. I moved across the country by myself during this time. And I had to figure it out. And financial stresses hit me again for the first time in a long time. I haven't felt a financial burden in a very long time. And it's very difficult. And that's for a lot of people, though. That's not just like most people right now, especially now more than ever, are dealing with a financial burden. So many people are struggling because the cost of gas, the cost of energy bills, the cost of food, everything. Everybody is struggling as far as financials go. And, you know, you go and buy things and it's like, man, I don't know if I can afford this right now. Man, I don't know if I can squeeze this right now. Like, this is money's tight. And you keep saying this to yourself over and over and over again because money is tight. That's the reality. That's the real thing. So your head, your brain is focusing and keying on that money. There's not an abundance of money around. There's not a lot, and it's very tight, and we have to hold on to it for dear life and keep it very close. And we have such a negative connotation when it comes to money. Everybody does. And we need to change that. We need to shift, like a massive conscious shift for everybody, because growing up, it's instilled in us. What are you told as a kid? Oh, James, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have money for that, James. All the time growing up. I'm sure you heard it as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I approach things from a little bit different aspect. Like James has one train of thought just because of his situation and how he was coming.
I agree. This is not my train of thought. This is what I'm saying. The majority's people's train of thought is, and this is from my experience, why I see that people have this train of thought.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like the experience you were talking about, going through how you come up, how you had success, how you got what the things that you thought you wanted, you thought you needed, etc. Then it got taken away from you, and then everything else, right? And now you're working on retraining the mindset to get back into those positive places, because money isn't everything, but it is a big way. So I'm just gonna give you a little perspective from my side of the aisle, right? I literally, out of my house at 18 years old, started my own business at 22, living on somebody's couch. Okay. I been through eating the top ramen and cans of tunas for years. I literally had to go through the couch cushions to get change, to put gas in my car, to go work at a business that I was making zero money at and trying to figure it out and do all those things. Right. And then I had some success and I started getting there, but business is riding the wave. So I've been in business since the first recession in 2008. Right. Then I went through COVID. Okay. But now I'm going through all this stuff, and now I have 3 little humans depending on me. Only one income. We buy our first home and they shut my business down for 6 months.
Yeah. So
no paycheck, no nothing. So
millions of people that are going through that, millions. And this is why I want to talk about this on this show. And this is why I want to bring this up, because you took a different route. Rather than saying, woe is me, and being a victim and saying, this sucks, like I can't do anything about it, you grabbed the bull by the horns and said, I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to make it happen. And there's little things that you could do, and it's not easy. It's really not. And I catch myself all the time, and this is what you have to do. Every time you start having a negative thought, immediately say it out loud. Say it out loud. Immediately come and say something the complete opposite. Like when I think about money being tight, like not having a lot of money and not being able to afford certain things, not being able to do the things that I used to be able to do because money is tight. Like as soon as that thought enters my brain, I immediately say to myself, money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently, because it does. We have to train our brain to think in abundance rather than the lack of abundance. We need to train our brain to think differently, no matter what scenario, what situation is going on. Because the world may be crumbling around you, the world may be collapsing, which it is. Let's be real, it is. but it's how you interpret that situation and how you perceive what's going on around you is totally going to change your environment. Like, as much as things are terrible right now, do you think Nick Mirabella, our co-host on the other show, ever for once ever thought a negative thought about what's going on, like publicly? He definitely had negative thoughts, but he trained his brain in such a way that he knew he's like, I'm gonna make this happen. I don't care. I'm gonna make it happen. No matter what.
That's what I did too. Is like, I just, you have that like, woe me is moment. Everybody does. You're human, right? So when they shut down, or like, let's just use that example. They shut down, and like the first week, I'm like, holy shit! Like, we moved the business, we moved the house, we got kids, we just bought our first home. Like, we're doing all this stuff, and now we have no paycheck. But I trained my mind for years prior to buying this house that I was in the mindset that if I lost everything that day, I would be able to pay for everything for 2 years. Okay. So I went into that, even though I laid out a lot of money, things were going good. The business was growing, everything was going good. And then it all got shut off. Right. So, but I prepared. So it also comes with preparation and discipline. I could have bought a house years ago, but I didn't feel comfortable and in the right state. So with the money abundance thing as well, people also live above their means, and they have to become more disciplined to not keep up with the Joneses or the people next door. I live like I'm poor. I have nice things. I have new cars. I have certain things, but I live like I'm poor. I don't need things and other things. So it's just becoming more fiscally responsible on certain things, not spending your money on, I mean, I have kids, so I have to spend money, right? There's no way around it. So I think people also have to train that mindset is, yes, it is abundance. And it comes frequently because there's the ebbs and flows of life. You're gonna have months, and my wife likes to call them seasons.
Garrett, I'm saying, like, even when money isn't there and coming easily and frequently,
yeah, you have to say it. I get it.
You're training your brain to believe that it does. Like, this is how God works. This is why prayer is so powerful. This is why how there's no denying. There's science behind this, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is everywhere.
Oh, 1,000%. But I'm talking from a perspective where I never, like, even though, and I'm not knocking on you or anything, I'm just saying, like, even though you had a sales job, you had somebody else writing your paycheck. I come from a spot, like Nick comes from a spot too, where
I didn't though.
No, but I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, like, it was on you to make your money, right?
It was 100% on me.
Yeah, because it was commission based, right?
Commission only. Yeah, commission only.
Yeah. So,
minimum, nothing.
But that's still there's the employer and owner mentality too. So, like, no matter what, even if you're working for your money, you're like in that like weird middle ground where you're kind of like your own independent contractor, but you're still relying on somebody else.
I was an independent contractor. That's what I was.
Exactly. So but you're still working for a company because they're just supplying the goods. They're supplying the things you're selling, right?
Yeah, but that's
where, like, me, I'm just saying, where me and Nick, we actually have to be the goods, supply the product, supply the, Nick does hair and stuff. So he's physically cutting hair. I'm running my school, so I'm physically training. So, like, everything falls on us from the product line all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in that mindset, you're going to have the ebbs and flows. And like I was saying before, is my wife like calls them seasons of life. I really like how she says this. Like, you fall out with friends, you fall out with money, you fall out with stuff. We're just in a different season in life. You might be in your spring, then you're in your summer, and you're in fall. And sometimes, like, you know what? I might be in my spring and you're in your fall. So it's hard to, give each other advice that you can grow and throw. So even if it's mindset and everything else. So I just want people to understand is, like, not everybody's in the same mindset. Not everybody's in the same season, but it doesn't mean that, like what James is saying, you can't train your brain to try to put you in that right mind space.
You're lucky Nick isn't here.
Why?
Nick is such a savage with this stuff. Like, I remember arguing with Nick back in the day about my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have crippling anxiety. I always have.
Well, a lot of people do. I did too.
Crippling anxiety. And I can't even function. Like, I can't think. I can't. It feels like it's crawling. It's the worst. And Nick used to always tell me, when I was in my early 20s, it's all in your head, dude. Like, you're not anxious. It's all in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, no, it's not all in my head. Like, I'm fucking super anxious right now.
Well, I get it.
And it just made the situation worse. And I still get anxious. I still have anxiety attacks for sure, but not nearly as bad as I used to.
It gets frequent, right?
Not nearly as frequent. Like very rare now, actually. Very, very rare that I do get anxiety attacks.
Well, people that don't get them don't understand that they're a real thing.
They don't understand. They don't understand that they're a real thing. But at the same time, the only reason I'm having an anxiety attack, it's whether I'm overthinking or I'm doing something that, like, it's all in my head. Nick is right. It is all in my head.
It is.
And this is what training my brain and preparation does for me. Like, if I don't wake up in the morning and I don't listen to my tapes and listen to some positive input in the morning, I will lose it because of what we do for a living. I'm covering so much negative content and negativity that I will go nuts. I will go nuts. It is very heavy.
It is, man. And like that, everything you're saying is, valid, and it's super important. So from like we said, we're at different seasons of lives. Like, I got little kids, I got this, I got that. So my wife is super conscious about doing all that stuff early in the morning, working out, positive mindset, meditation, doing your affirmations. The boys have to do their affirmations in the morning. I'm worth something. I'm this, I'm that. Get up, try to be positive and angry. But the reality of the situation for you dads out there and moms is we could do whatever we want, and then that little son of a bitch doesn't like what Gabe do today. I want to wear all red.
Wants to be
5 minutes before he wanted to be blooded out, ready to go to school, right? But and no matter how positive and how things are, those kids can shift your energy and they can shift your day. So when you do have that time for yourself, parents, take the time, try to put your head in the right space. I know we always try to, do all the right things, but life gets in your way, and it's okay. It's always going to kick you in the nuts. It's always going to kick you in the nuts. So but we're just saying, don't have that pity party for one all day. As soon as you try to correct it.
This is what the training your self-talk is all about, Garrett. Life does hit you like a Mack truck. And if you don't train your brain and you don't work on it actively to take those negative thoughts and flip them, when life does hit you like a Mack truck, because it will, I promise you.
Every time.
It will hit you like a Mack truck. You're standing still like a deer in the headlights. That thing's going $150. Bam. And if your brain is not trained, people crumble completely.
Oh, yeah.
They completely wither, and they never recover. They never, ever, ever recover mentally. They're never the same person. We see it all the time.
You do. And I mean, that also separates, winning from losing. That also separates
it's not even about winning and losing. It's about
I'm just saying in a general term. So it separates winning from losing, because why? Winners get hit with Mack trucks, but they figure out a way to get up, or they figure out a way to get out of the way. Losers get hit by a Mack truck once, and they keep talking about the Mack truck for 25 years, where the winner gets hit by the Mack truck, does the rehab, and keeps moving on.
Yes, without a doubt. And you have to, but you're not just going to wake up in the morning and get hit by a Mack truck and be totally ready for it and be fine. Like,
nobody's ready for it. Even the most successful, mind-strong people get blindsided.
Absolutely. But guess what those mind-strong people have been doing for a long time? They've been training their brain. They've been working. They've been training their self-talk. They've been training the way that they think about themselves, the way that they talk about themselves, even in private by themselves. Like, I say all the time, and I'm so bad with it. I'm like, oh man, I'm such a piece of shit. Like, I say it all the time, and that's such a bad self-talk. Even if I'm being sarcastic, or even if I'm joking about it, it's such bad self-talk. I was watching Brad Lee Dropping Bombs the other day. I love his podcast. Really good show. And he had this guy on, and he was talking about him and his wife and how they have such a great marriage. And he goes, one of the rules that we made when we got married was we won't talk about divorce. We won't even bring it up. We won't even joke about it, because how many times you go out with your friends and you're having a good time and the friend's like, oh, I'm joking in a totally joking manner, just laughing, like in total jest. Oh, well, I'll divorce you if you do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens all the time. And he's like, we don't even say that. We don't even put it into the universe. We don't even mention it, because that's what we're doing. We're putting this negative juju out into the world, this negative energy out into the world that is going to respond back, whether it's in gesture or not. Mm-hmm. So this is what I talk when I say self-talk. And this is why when I go into my notebook and instead of being honest with myself, I say I'm happy all of the time. I feel great all of the time. Like I'm training my mind, because if my mind says that I feel great, if my mind tells me that I feel great, then I'm going to feel fucking good. I'm going to feel amazing. And
no, that's a great technique. It's just I'm built different. I don't lie to myself. So, and it's not lying to yourself. So just listen, hear me out. So I come from the aspect of like where I don't feel great, but I have to do it because it's discipline. That's the way like my brain works. Now, do I do the positive thought?
Discipline? How do you train that discipline?
It's years of doing it. I got up, but this is the thing. I get up because I have to sometimes. It's not always because I have like we said, the rainbows and butterflies, and it's okay to train your mind. You have to train your mind over and over to do it. But I also think there's a big aspect looking over is those people training their mind like that is another form of discipline, whether it's mental discipline, physical discipline, it's all connected to discipline. So you can say, oh, I'm great. I'm this, but you also have to put the work ethic and the discipline behind it to make that effective change in your brain. Because like I could we say it all the time, right? We could tell everybody, what are you, a gender neutral unicorn, right? But
transgender gender unicorn.
But it doesn't make it a thing. It just makes it a delusion. So that's the one thing that's good also about writing things down, whether it's business or goals or anything else, is it's only a thought, but then you have to put it into action. And when you write it down, it makes it real. Now, I'm not very good at writing it down because I keep a running tally in here all the time, from my checkbook to where I'm moving. That's just how my brain works.
Here's the thing, Garrett.
What's the thing, James?
I'm with you because I come from the same school of thought. I come from I wrestled my entire life. Like I used to tell people, and I still to this day, I absolutely hate training. Like I do not enjoy it. I do not like. I never liked running, like running 10 miles. Did not like running. We hated it. It was the worst ever. Miserable. Hated every second. I loved winning so much that I suffered through the training just so I can have that 30 seconds of glory of getting my hand raised at the end. Whether it was wrestling, whether it was fighting, whether it was any sport that I was doing. I hated all of it. I hated practice. I just wanted to play the game and win. That's all I wanted to do. But to do that, you have to do all that suffering, all that training, especially in a sport like wrestling or fighting with cutting weight and discipline. Like, you think I wanted to cut weight, dude? Do you think I wanted to go to?
No, cutting weight is terrible.
I wanted to be a teenage kid. Everybody's going to the lunchroom eating these fucking delicious cookies and going to the lunch line, hanging out with the lunch lady, and I'm sitting there. I'm going to the weight room with a sandwich with no condiments, just some red wine vinegar. And
no condiments.
Dude, here's what I did. No condiments. And I had a grenade bottle of water, and I'd go on the scale. And if I was a pound overweight, I'd literally by the end of the day, from lunchtime to weigh-ins at 5 o'clock, I'd lose a pound just moving around. Mm-hmm. So if I was a pound overweight standing on the scale with what I had in my hand, I'd eat it. But if I was over a pound, I'd start ripping pieces of the sandwich off. I'd start pouring a little water out. Like this is what I had to do at lunchtime throughout a majority of my life. And that's not fun. It sucks. And I had to suffer through it. So I come from the same train of thought. But here's the thing, Garrett, and this is why I'm really excited to do the show. We cannot just stay where we're at. We have to continue to grow. We have to continue to get better. And even though I come from that same train of thought, and I say all the time, I am not good at doing what I'm saying and telling people what to do. Like This is not something that I'm very good at. I'm very bad at it. I just said
it's easy to tell people how to do than take your own advice a lot, you know?
I call myself a piece of shit. I do all these things and I literally did exactly what Steve Harvey said not to do at the beginning of the show, right before the show. Like this is where we're at, and it's not easy. And I know I'm like you. I will just suck it up and get it done. But I'd rather train my brain to not have to suck it up, to look forward to the day. I'd rather train my brain to look forward to getting up and attacking whatever I have to get done, rather than waking up and being like, fuck, this sucks. I have to do it. Shit, I don't want to do it, but I guess I have to. That's all mental training and flipping the switch. And that's part of me growing and getting better, because I know I'm just like you. I am just like you, and millions are just like you.
Well, I also think you need the support system too, which I think is overlooked a lot.
You don't need shit.
Why not? What happened? Hold on. No. What happened when you started talking shit on yourself? I said, yo, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? It's always good to have a friend or somebody around you that can help you think on those issues and try to get you back on track.
Here's the thing. It's definitely better, without a doubt, no question. But do you need it to get better? Do you need the support system to pull your bootstrap? No, you don't.
No, you don't need it. I didn't say you don't need it. I'm just thinking it's something it's like something else. Like it's always good to have certain things and backups and everything else. So when sometimes you're trying to do it mentally tough and you're trying to do it for yourself and you hit those little walls, it's always good to have somebody else that you know is mentally tough to help you get back on track. Because there's all times everybody needs a friend. Remember, was that Golden Girls, right?
You're 1,000% right. 1,000% right. But I'm talking right now about people that don't have that. There's so many people in that scenario. So many people in that scenario that, like, I want friends. I want somebody that I can lean on. Or even some of them have friends, but they're so fake. They're so superficial. They're caught up. They're so brainwashed. And you can't have a real conversation with that friend about shit that you're going through, or you're embarrassed because your ego. There's so many different excuses or reasons why you don't have that friend. And there's millions of people that go through that. Like, everybody, I seriously, you watch a lot of these videos that I watch, or we're going to play intros of our show. And a lot of them talk about finding a mentor and getting a mentor and how important.
We talked about that last episode about mentors and how that's overlooked.
And it is extremely important. It is. But you need to realize that it's not necessary. It is not something that you need to people will take that and say, okay, I can't find a mentor. I don't know anybody. I can't do this. I can't do that, because their brain is already trained that they can't. Their brain is already ingrained from years of suck.
I think we talked about this a little bit last time was, it is years of this and years of that. But like what I'm trying to say is I've been in those seasons of life. Like I'm a little bit older than you, right? So I've been through these certain seasons that we've been through where like I couldn't afford to pay a mentor. And then I was like, well, everybody's telling me to get him. Well, hear me out. Everybody's telling me to get a mentor, but I'm like, I don't have the money to get a mentor. I don't have the time. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I kept saying, I don't have. And then one way I figured out. And then I took the step when I had the least amount of money, couldn't even afford a mentor. It took me to bring me down to my knees where I didn't even have the money. And when I did have somewhat of the money, I was like, oh, I don't have enough money to pay this guy that much or this lady this much. And then it brought me to my knees where I was like, what else do I got to lose? And I did that. And once I got that, things started going here. Now they're not pat your ass mentors either. My mentors are like me. They're gangster fuckers. So they're not. They will help you, but you have to. They will give you the information. They're going to say, this is what I did. This is what I think you should do, and you run with it however you want. You make these changes, they're going to help you. You don't make the changes, they're not going to help you. It's totally up to you. You have to have the self accountability still. So it helps to give you a little bit of direction, perspective, and people that that have been there before you. So it's like, it's like having like, the wise older brother, the wise, grandma that's like, well, I've been through this 70 times and I saw it, and I'm going to give you my advice because I made this mistake and I want to make sure that you don't make that mistake as long. So I say it in training all the time. Like, I did the arm lock wrong 10,000 times. Okay. And then I finally got it. My job as your instructor is to make sure that you only do the arm lock wrong 5,000 times and you get better, quicker, and you understand the information quicker. And that's what like a mentor can do, because they can beat their heads against the wall 1,000 times and then they figure it out. And our jobs, and like, we're figuring this out as we do. You're trying to tell the people, this is what helps me. This is what works for me. But then I'm going from the mindset, well, like, if what James is doing doesn't work for you, you could still go about it this way, that way. But you have to start linking, like you said, the positive thought, the being self-aware enough to recognize when you're starting to go off that path. Because I think a lot of successful people, like, everybody has that pity party for themselves. Some people stay in it for a day and move on. Some people stay in it for a week and move on. Some people stay in it for their whole entire lives and let it define them and never change anything. So I think, we're all going to be in that area at some point in our life, but it's who makes the quicker pivots and adjustments. Like you were talking about Nick earlier and talking about me with COVID. Like, yeah, I had a pity party for myself for a week, and then for 3 days. 3 days, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna lose the house. I got 3 kids under 6. You're not working. Nobody can work. What are we gonna do? We just spent this money. And then I was like, fuck it. I went online, started teaching classes online, keeping money coming in, trying to do this, trying to do that. Same thing with Nick. Like, he made his pivot. He tried to do his thing. And I think that's that is part of that mindset and is part of the discipline. Where I used to be in a pity party, earlier in my life, I'd be in a pity party for 2 years. I was so scared to make a decision, and I saw things going wrong. And then it was like compounding interest. Like, I have so many things to do. My anxiety's crazy. And then I wouldn't get anything done because like it would cripple me. I would just sit there idle hands and I wouldn't be able to do anything. And the one day where it was like 5 things I had to do, then the next day it was 7 things I had to do because I didn't do them. And then you get overwhelmed. And that's where I think the writing down good thing is just start checking them off the list. Makes you feel good when you complete that list.
This is why I 100% agree with that last statement. But this is why I'm going to the root instead of saying get a mentor. Like at the end of the day, people go through, I call what you went through paralysis analysis.
100%. I use the same term.
You get into these thought funks where like you see what you have to do, but you get stuck because it feels overwhelming. Like there's so many reasons why
you're scared to pull the trigger.
Exactly, because you're overanalyzing it.
Mm-hmm.
I go through this all the time.
I've been there too.
So when you sit here and you tell people to get a mentor, I agree with that. But some people will hear that and be like, you know what? I can't afford this right now. And they'll start overanalyzing why they can't do it. And they get stuck.
And that's what I'm saying. I did that for 10 years.
So this is why I want to help people to get to change that. Because at the end of the day, a mentor will 1,000%, 10,000% make it easier and help you get better. It's a great piece of advice, without a doubt. But what I'm saying, the point I'm making is you do not need a mentor. The only mentor that you need is the person looking in the mirror. You can train your brain. You can train your brain to do many things. Many things. There's so many amazing stories. Like the guy who got into the plane crash, got 3rd-degree burns all over his body, and was told he was never going to walk and be on a breathing tube for the rest of his life. He walked out of the hospital on his own will 6 months later.
I think that comes down to your core too, though, dude.
No. He sat in the bed and said and trained his brain every day. That's all he did, was train his brain. And obviously had the motivation to do it, because what else was he going to do? But first it was the breathing tube. It was breathe on his own. And then they got the breathing tube. It's like, this is a miracle. We cannot believe this is happening. And then he started moving his toes, and then he started moving around. and it was just one step after the other. And he set a goal. He's like, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna walk out of here on my own will by Christmas. And he did it on December 24th. He walked out of the hospital on his own will. It was a miracle story, literal miracle.
100%. But that's also in his core, man.
No, but it was all here.
Yeah, his core, his mind, his heart, his body, his soul, every fiber.
The point I'm making is that's how powerful our minds are. He made that decision to do that. He could have sat there and said, "Oh, I should do this. I should talk about this stuff and try to train my brain," and then not do it. How many times do you do things like that? Like, I should write down my goals. It's a great idea. It will really help. I see how many people it's actually helped, but then you don't fucking do it. It's the same thing with your mind. Like, oh, I should train my brain. I should have better self-talk, but then you don't do it. There's so many people that don't do it. It's a decision. It goes back to your discipline.
It's a decision and to be disciplined, 100%.
And it's the discipline, and that's the decision. You have to train, just like any other muscle in your body. You have to train your mind, and you have to execute it on it every single day. Like, I am great. The things that you're doing to your kids is amazing. I love it. I think that's I wish my father did that when I was a kid. I think it's one of the best things that you're doing for your kids that I've ever seen. And I hope more parents do that for their kids as well.
That's all my wife. I'll give her credit. I give credit where credit's due. But, I try to back her up, and I try to be that support system.
No, but she's 100% right. Like, these kids, one of the things that I wish my father instilled more was confidence. Like, my father lived in a not, like, things aren't abundant at all. Like, we don't, like, that's how I grew up. Like, you don't, like, I had to earn everything that I got. Like, it wasn't like I was given anything. I had great parents, but it was very, like, scarce. There's a very scarce mentality in my household. We couldn't get the nice things. We always got the off-brand shit.
What's wrong with that?
Because when you have your friends over and your friends make fun of you because
you're worried about what other people think of you.
But when
stop being a bitch.
When you're a kid,
I'm doing Goggins. Stop being a bitch.
Yeah. But
listen. Yeah, and you speaking right now, people are gonna shut up with your white privilege, going to private school, living in a fucking nice neighborhood.
Yeah, but
look at his face.
It wasn't always like that.
No, I get it, dude, and that's why. And that's why it comes back to seasons of life, man.
Even when my father was doing better and we were able to get nicer things, it was still
flow, man.
But it was still a scarce mentality. Like, it was like my father couldn't make decisions on anything. Like, it was ridiculous. He'd try to save money every way he possibly can. And
so now that you're a little older. Now that you're a little older, can you look at it as he was like? Because I just said, like, I live like I'm poor, even when it's abundant. Was that being scared, or was that financial stability and being prepared for later years in his life? If you can look at it that way now that James just turned 34. It was his birthday the other day.
I understand, but it's a totally different mentality. That's
what I'm asking. Like, do you think it was more of that thought process, or you think he was more of just like terrified?
No, it's his mindset's completely different. Like, I'll never forget my father walking by. We went to Mother's Day in Montclair, New Jersey. We went by a really nice car dealership in the heart of Montclair. And had a bunch of Ferraris and Lambos. And I was like, Dad, look at these sweet cars. And what came out of his mouth is, oh, I'll never have one of those. I'll never have one of those. Like, and I immediately said to myself, I was like, what? Like, why even say that? Like, I look at people that have those cars and I say, what makes them better than me? Like, why can they do it and I can't? And it's not necessarily that, like, I need the car, but Garrett, if someone said, hey, do you want a Lambo? I'll give you a Lambo. Are you saying fucking no?
I would say, yeah, give it to me. And I'd turn around and sell it and buy a fucking house.
This is true.
That's my mentality. See, that's the thing. Like, I know you like cars. I know you like those things.
Here's the thing. I want to get into real estate. I want to get
right now.
I want to get 950.
No. I said good time to get into real estate right now.
No, well, that's why I'm not. I was actually, before the pandemic, I was sitting down. I was
Me too.
Me and my father were going to buy an 8-door complex in the art districts in Vegas. And we sat down, and it was literally, we were going to look at the place. We had a meeting set up, and I literally was coming home for opening day, and I was going to bring the pictures home to my father for opening day. And the what's it called got shut down. So opening day got canceled. So we were like, all right, well, let's wait and see what happens. And we did, but that's a different conversation as far as investments and getting to those places. And but I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying everybody would like nice things. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody. I don't like that stuff. I'm sure you do. You don't need it. None of us need it. We don't fucking need it. None of us need it. But if given opportunity for certain nice things that you really like, and everybody has different tastes. It may not be car.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got a vice that there's something that's they can't afford right now that they would love to have. Like maybe it is a beach home. Maybe it is living right on a beachfront property, like something like that. Okay. I'm just using the Lambo as an example. I see people that have things like that, things that I would love in my lifetime at some point, and I say, how come what makes them different than me? What makes them better than me? They made decisions. They decided to do things differently. And what are those things that they do differently that I don't do? They control their self-talk. They're very conscious of their self-talk. They all are. They may not be the best at it, but that's something that they all do.
I know a lot of successful people that just like they just do and they figure it out too. They're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And that's like, there's no doubt in their mind that they're like, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to do this. They're just like, yeah, I'll get it. I'll figure it out.
Well, that's training their brain because they know they're going to do it. At the end of the day, in their head, they've already made that decision in their head that it's going to get done no matter what. That's exactly. So many people in this world, they didn't train their brain that way. They see a daunting challenge. And they're like, man, I hope I don't know if I get this done. I don't know. This is going to be tough. Like, how many times do you hear that? Like, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do my best. You know, that's what you hear from people instead of, no, I'll figure it out. Like, this is what I
think another thing is you know, and this kind of goes into it is like, you can't make giant change. It's not easy to make giant changes and make it happen and be consistent with it. Like what we're saying is just tweak a little thing and your mindset to tweak that little thing and make those little adjustments doesn't cost you anything.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't cost you anything to just tell yourself, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm telling you, when you do that and you accomplish those things, like it makes you feel good inside. You know what I'm saying? So, and then feeling that feeling for some people's addictive. So then you're going to be like, all right, this is working. I'm going to continue. And it's like compounding interest. I did it once. I could do it again. I could do it again. I could do it again. And then it just becomes your routine and your discipline.
There's a great book written by Darren Hardy called The Compound Effect. I recommend everybody check that out because it's like small little things that build up that equal a much larger thing, and it compounds over time. You tell people there's the saying that goes, if I offered you $1 million or a penny doubled every day for 30 days, which one would you want? Like $1 million straight up cash right now, or a penny doubled for 30 days, which one would you want?
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Well, the penny will end up compounding more.
Like 32 million or something like that.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. Yeah, like, you know, well, but we're also in the age of instant gratification.
That's the thing. It's people don't realize
they don't want to play the long game.
So I want to give people something that I use and I've picked up because I read a lot of books about, you know, mindset, discipline, forming habits. There's a lot of, maybe we'll start a little book club on this show.
Book club?
A little book club. Yeah, maybe we'll do
that.
A little book club.
We're all like cultured and shit. We're like Renaissance men.
No, dude, we're amazing.
What are we doing here? Who are we?
We're amazing human beings. I just love us. I hope you guys do. But what I do is I have a calendar in my house, in my room. And on my calendar, it's a little whiteboard calendar, but you can use, you know, a paper calendar. You can use a notebook. But small little things, when you do them, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You really do. And and when you achieve goals, no matter how small that they are, your mind doesn't know that. Your mind sees it that you accomplished something. They don't care how big or small it is. Your mind's like, oh yeah, I did something. Yes, myself on the back.
A little dopamine. Boop.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And this is the way you train your brain. So I started with small things. Like I started with writing things down, like riding the bike for 20 minutes a day. You know, and I'd ride the bike, I'd cross it off. Read a book for 30 minutes, I'd cross it off.
Right. Well, that's what I said earlier. Making lists and crossing them off, man.
I'd cross it off. Little things, like not even like major, like I got to accomplish this, but anything that I needed to get done the next day or during that week, I would try to put on my calendar so I can go and then I can go and cross it off because of that sense, like, oh shit. Cause then every time, and I'd put it somewhere where I'd see it every day. Like I made sure like it was right on my desk or right by my door. So I see it like not in my phone on an app where you're only going to see it if you go to that app and look at it because you know you're going to avoid it. Like this is why I don't say in the notes or in a notebook. Put it somewhere where you can see it every day. Because I'll tell you right now, when I walk by that calendar and I see something on that board that I didn't do yet, I'm like, shit, I got to get that done. Like I got it, and it motivates me to get it done so I can cross it off. And by the end of the night, when I go to bed, there's such a feeling of accomplishment because I look at my board. I'm like, I did everything I needed to do today. I got everything done that I wanted to get done. And it could be things that you truly want to do too. Like it doesn't even have to be things that you're dreading to do. Like it could be things that you're looking forward to, but you know you have to get done. Like boom, cross that off the board. Like that, just that sense of accomplishment.
So do you do day-to-day task write downs? Yeah. So because there's two ways to go about this too, and I want people to understand this.
So even if it's the same thing every day, even if it's
exactly. But what I'm saying is like goal setting, mind setting, change, etc. Right? Is you do your day-to-day, you do your incremental goals here and here, but then you still are working towards your long-term goal. So an analogy I use it like this is like in training, right? From white belt to black belt in jiu-jitsu especially takes some time, right? So you can't like the grind and marathon and uphill battle to get to that, you know, what you think is the pinnacle until you get there and you're like, oh shit, I'm only a quarter way up the mountain. There's
so much more. There's so much more.
So but what I always say is like, okay, increments is like, even as you start getting into the middle belts, like getting your stripes, there's a big like section of time in between that and everything else. So I say for the little day-to-days you're working on, okay, I'm perfecting my arm lock. Then that week you perfect your arm lock. Then I'm working on defense of my arm lock. Then I'm working on this. So you have those little daily goals that will get you to that middle goal, you know, or that quarter goal. Then that quarter goal compounds onto that middle goal, and then you'll get to that long-term goal. And you're always resetting goals because once you jump to like your middle level goal, well, now that's your bottom level goal. So that's why I enjoy like the jiu-jitsu and it's life too, right? You're never going to get to the pinnacle. And when you do, and some people get to it in their 20s. Yeah, and then they fall hard. And some people, they might get to it in their 90s. But I think it's like it's the gradual progress that is better than having those huge dips and valleys. And you know what I'm saying?
This is why I do little things, like the things that I know I'm going to do no matter what. Like even like you could even put on the board brushing your teeth. Like I'm not even joking. Like this is how little I'm talking about, because most people see the big goals that they want to accomplish and they get overwhelmed. They get too much, so they put these big goals on the board. Like I want to accomplish this today, and it's this like crazy heavy task that they're gonna have to really put some time into, and then they don't do it, and then they get more and more demoralized. I'm saying get some small wins on the board, like some small wins. Start there and cross those things off. Everything that you need to get done in a small level, like make your bed if you want to put that on there.
Just go back to basics.
Super small. Just get some wins. So when you look at that board, you see things crossed off and you accomplished everything, and you can add to it. You don't have to, like I put the same, like every time I go to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's on my board every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I can cross that off my board every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll the start of the month, I'll go to the start of the month and put September, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is already filled in with gym. It's already got it there.
So then you work around it. You don't move it. It's a goal.
It's there. And it's what I need to do. but it doesn't have to be something like even if I don't put it on the board, I'm going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like that's just going to be my schedule. Even if it's not on the board, I'm going to go.
Yes, me too. But that's self-discipline. But like for the people that might be working towards the self-discipline, this is a good start.
That's what I'm saying. It's the mental game. Even though I know I'm going to go. So this is the example I'm using is if it's something that that you're going to do, no matter if you write it down or not, like something that you do already in your schedule that you're very good at being disciplined at, but it's going to be in your schedule, put it on the board and cross that off. Because you'll add to that, and it's just one more thing that you see on the board that you got done, and you're like, wow, I actually did a lot. Like how many times you go to bed, Garrett, and you're like, man, I fucking fucked off all day. Like I didn't do shit.
How many times? Not a lot, but when I do, I definitely know I did.
Yeah, and you feel that way. You feel that way. But how about like you instead of that, you see all the things that you actually did. You know what? I didn't really fuck off today. I got some things done.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds that mindset. It helps you grow. And these are things that little things that will help people deal with the shitty situations that many are in right now. Because unfortunately, so many are. Like I'm not doing fantastic. I'm not hanging out doing well right now. It's not like I'm in a great spot.
Yeah, but you're working towards a goal, and that's the thing with the instant gratification. And you come from a generation too that is used to the instant gratification, right? So no, just hear me out. So even though I'm not saying that you're, but like your friends, your things, it's the cars, it's the Instagram, it's this, it's that, all around it, right? And everybody gets sucked into it, But
that was more after my generation. We were like AIM,
but yeah, no, but it's around, right? Let's say because my sister's like 30, and that's like around that age, right? And now you're going through a grind. You just started your grind for your new endeavor at 30, 2 years old, and you're only 2 years into it. We're like, dude, I literally grinded for 5 years before I was like able to like pay my rent consistently, I always paid it, but like on the first, like it didn't have to wait till the 10th till this check cleared or this thing, and I was always robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then it took me years to get to that, and then I got to that point, and then you got hit with this, and then all of a sudden you get back up to that point and you get hit with that. It's a shitty feeling when you don't know where it's coming from, right?
Very very shitty.
So you're just in that grind. You're in that season of life, working towards your goal, man.
Especially when I was doing well in my life at one point already.
But that's a different path, man. That put you on this path.
I 100% agree. God works in amazing ways, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm just saying it's people
still tough.
Yeah, the mental game of that doesn't mean it was easy, and I had to figure it out. So it was all training my brain. That's why I do the little things that I do, because I could very easily say like
easy doesn't feel as good. Easy doesn't feel as good at the end of the day too.
No, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if Bradley did it. I love his show. He's fucking hilarious and he's so on point. He goes, if someone offered you a $1 million business for free, are you taking it, or would you rather earn it yourself?
It depends on the person. Like me, I'd rather earn it myself.
And his answer is you're a fucking moron.
No, that's fine. That's why I don't care and I don't listen to Bradley.
Because guess what? You could take that $1 million business and turn that $1 million business that's already successful into a $5 million business.
But no, you're right. But then you could have the same problem with the people that say, "Hey, your daddy or mommy gave you $20,000 or $100,000 to start up, and then you're $100,000." What's that?
Who, if that's your situation, who the fuck cares? Like,
a lot of people do.
So many people turn those opportunities down because you know what? I'd rather earn it myself. I'd rather earn it myself instead of taking that opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with earning it yourself. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's the way to do it. But what the hell just happened?
Well, where'd you go? They had enough of your jibber jabber, James.
Yep. They don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
OBS said not today, my friend.
Nope. My camera's been it's something that's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely on your end because I know a lot of listeners have been saying it's been glitchy on your end, etc. So
something going on in the back office. I don't know what the hell happened. Let me back out real quick and come back in.
Well, while James is doing that, there we go. James is off right now. Hope he's back on. But there's a lot of different trains of thought. So James has one train of thought. I have another train of thought, and that's okay because everybody's different. Different things. It's not a one size fit all thing, on training your mindset and doing other things. It's not a one size fit all. Certain things work for him that I would never do, and vice versa, just because we're built differently, we're raised differently, but we're letting you guys know that there is different ways to accomplish these things. So, like we said, it's not a one size fit all for everybody. We're trying to give you guys just examples for what works for James, what works for me. And then this way you can take maybe a little bit of, a pinch of salt from me, a little pinch of pepper from James, and do this and make your own soup that works for you and your mind and your mindset. So I think that's what we're trying to, get at today.
It's all about getting better. It's all about growth and making your life a little bit better every single day. Like that should be the goal. And if that's not your goal, you're a miserable prick and you deserve what you get. I'm sorry. Like seriously, if you don't want to get better, if you don't want to be a better human being, you don't want to be a better person every day. If you don't want to make yourself better, then I don't know what we're doing. It doesn't matter about.
I don't keep those people in my circle.
But just on a basic human level, like if you don't want to become a better person every single day, better than you were the day before, doesn't matter. Just as a human being, as a person, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life, and you're a miserable prick. Seriously. Seriously. It doesn't have to be business related. It doesn't have to be anything related. Just as a person, if you're not trying to get better, then I don't know what we're doing here. So that's what we're here to do, is try to help everybody get better each and every single day. Mindset is such an important thing, especially when you're dealing with all the negative that's going on in the country. It's a way to help lighten the load sometimes, and especially if you can really spend some time training your brain to do it. And it comes down to discipline, what we talked about last week. Garrett, it was a fun winning Wednesday. Shout out to our sponsors, Kush Creams, #1 topical in the game, 21-time Canada's Cup Award winning. Go to kushcreams.com, code WPRUSA for 15% off. Also, Sirius CBD, the #1 CBD on the planet. Go to Sirius-CBD.com. Pick up the #1 CBD on the planet. Me and Marley Dog take it every day. Garrett, your code is what? SGT?
SGT SAM. Yeah, that's our codes for everything. So you can also check out Dr. Kirk Elliott. His website is Kirk Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's, PhD.com/SGT SAM. He does purchasing of silver, turning over 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, etc. And then we also have, me and James both have codes for My Patriot Cigars.com. You can get 15% off your entire order if you put in WPR USA or SGT SAM and tell them we sent you, and go have a good smoke on us.
Absolutely. And can't forget Mikey Pillow Gangs. Mikey, yeah. Gotta love My Pillow. Go to mypillow.com or mystore.com. Get all your My Pillow needs, your chancletas, your slippers, your
Help Mikey get his cell phone back.
Yeah, help him get his cell phone back.
Help Mikey get his cell phone back.
This is not the show. This is actually I won't be on Freedom Friday this week. I think we're going to take the week off. I'm going up to Oregon for our good friend Justin's funeral. If you are in the area on October 2nd, I'm going to film the entire thing on the request of his family, and we're going to stream it out for everybody to see, for those that are watching. But October 2nd, we are going to do a memorial ride for our good friend Justin. So if you are in the area or want to fly out to Vegas, it's a great place. You can rent a bike where we're meeting. October 2nd, we roll out at 420. And we're going to do a great memorial ride for our good friend Justin. I think there's people coming from all over the world, actually. It's wild just for this ride. So I'm really excited. Come out January 2nd, 4:20 p.m. Ride for a good friend. We're going to stop at a couple bars, smoke some weed. It's going to be a great time. Great time. Come out. It'll be a lot of fun. And Garrett, We'll be back next week. It'll be my birthday is this weekend, actually.
I know it's coming up, right?
Sunday. It's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. James.
So next time you guys will see me, I'll be 34 years old.
Yeah, you old biddy.
I'm an old ass man. Hopefully my Jets can win again this weekend.
Yeah, good for you, bud.
Birthday. It'd be great. They won last week and I couldn't believe it. And,
I know, me neither. Nobody could.
I can't believe it. So hopefully they win again and I'll have a great birthday. I wish I could control the Jets and be like, yeah, the Jets are going to win on Sunday and put that out in the universe. But yeah, until next time, guys. See you guys later.
You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it. Your brain is divided into two halves, positive and negative, good and evil. It don't function on nothing else. Ain't no neutral ground in your brain. It's either positive and good or negative and evil. Each half of your brain has millions of factory workers on each side. You got 1 million factory workers on the positive side. You got 1 million factory workers on the negative side. At the forefront of each one of those factories in your brain is a foreman. You got foreman positive and you got foreman negative. You are in charge. You're the boss of the factory. Guess what? We are how we think. You can't make a world, but you can make your own world. So now, since your brain is in two halves, let me show you how this works. You wake up in the morning and you say, man, I don't feel myself today. I got up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm not a morning person. Foreman negative hears that. He steps to the front. He said, what did you say? You say, I said I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I'm not myself. I'm not a morning person. He says, you got it right away. He said, hey, the boss just woke up and said he's not a morning person. He's having a bad day today, and he ain't feeling himself. Let's get to work. The 1 million factory workers start producing thoughts to justify what you just said. So now guess what? Man, I hate my alarm clock went off this morning. I got to get out here in this traffic. I want to drive down here today. I don't even like these people on my job. I can't stand this car I'm finna get in this morning. Sure wish I had a new car, but I'm driving this ragged ass car. And on and on and on. And your day starts tumbling into what you ordered at the top of the day. You could wake up in the morning and you say, you know what? Today is gonna be a great day today. I expect something really good to happen for me today. He said, what did you say? You say, I said I'm having a great day today. I expect something good to happen today. Foreman positive turns around and goes, all right, let me have your attention. Steve's having a great day today. He's expecting some wonderful things to happen. And man, let's get it going. And they start manufacturing thoughts. Same brain. Man, I can't wait to go to work today. It may not be the job I want, but at least I got a job. I'm so grateful I got a car to drive to work today. Hey man, at least I got a check coming in. I appreciate the fact that I don't have a car, but at least I can walk to the train. Man, this is gonna be great today. That's how your mind works 24/7. It never turns off. Change your attitude, you change your altitude.
It all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become.